My name is Kweku
Okay. And
Ajaman Opambo.
And so where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
And he's all the way over here in the Gambia, right?
Yes.
And what's the purpose of your trip?
Well, I wanted to come and see where they stole my ancestors from.
In 2018, I watched a YouTube video that was Akon being interviewed, and Akon said something about if you took your business or you took your knowledge or your qualifications back to Africa and implemented them in Africa, you could create a Fortune 500 company within 5 years. And I strongly do believe that that is true. I'm an entrepreneur and I run a 7-figure company and I earn a 6-figure salary, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of money. But for some reason, living in London with 3 other mouths to feed, I don't seem to be able to get out of the rat race. I work, I pay bills, I have very little money left over to do anything else that I need to do. So I have decided that I'm going to take all my skills as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, as a mother, as someone from the West, and I'm going to take all of that with me back to Gambia, and I'm going to create wealth in a more peaceful environment. Gambia is beautiful, it's amazing, it has okay infrastructure, it is the smiling coast of Africa, and everybody is absolutely amazing.
Why did you make the decision, knowing that Africa has a history of political instability, history of backwardness in terms of economy, corruption and all that? You left the life that you lived in, probably in the Caribbean or in the UK or somewhere in America, to come and live in the Gambia.
Wow, you made some sweeping statements there. Political instability, poor economy. That's not the Africa that I see. That's the Africa that the BBC and the CNN tells us about. Africa's our home as black people, and we have to make it what it is. If you think the West was paved with gold, it wasn't. I was born in the UK, but I was always made to know I was never accepted there as a black person. So you see the difference. Even though I was born there, and I should be able to say, yes, it was wonderful there, but it wasn't. The discrimination is still there. My parents faced it in the 60s. I faced it, as I was growing up. My children are facing it. It's not changing for us. So it's imperative that we come home and we build Africa so that we don't make the statements that you made about the political instability, the poorness. Africa is a rich continent, and everybody else can see that except us. This is why other people are coming here, but we're not coming here. So we need to come here and we need to enjoy the fruits of Africa.
Everything is just cheap here. Buying a lot of organic foods and fruits, vegetables, it's all very cheap. So if you really want to live a healthy lifestyle, living here is really good for you. Also, junk food is not easy to get here. So that's a bonus, I would say, because I lost a lot of weight, and my family, they lost a lot of weight. My parents, they lost so much weight. It's not much junk food and fast food here as it is in America. And in America, you're prone to just getting a lot bigger and just living an unhealthy lifestyle because of the availability of junk food and fast food. So yeah, I would say that's a big pro here because my diet has changed so much and I've become so much more healthier. The architecture here and just how the buildings, but the houses here are huge. They're like mansions. Currently, this house that we're living in is just beautiful. I love it. And it's not to get a mansion here is not the same price as getting a mansion in America. It's so much cheaper, and that is just I love that.
I've traveled to many different countries, and I have never felt so comfortable and so welcomed and so loved in all of my life. The minute we got off the plane, people say, you're welcome, welcome back home. You can be just walking down the street and someone will say to you, oh, welcome back home, welcome, we are one. And it's just really strange to go to a country, a black country, and feel this welcome. They don't know us. And simply for the color of your skin, the fact that you took your money when you could have taken that flight money and visited anywhere in the world, but you decided to go back to Gambia, the people really do appreciate their tourism there. It made me fall in love. I mean, I sat down at a beach once and this man just came up to me and my sister and and just gave us oranges that he had bought from a lady. And I went to go and give him money, and he was like, no, don't give us anything, don't give me anything, welcome back home. And that happened throughout the entire time that we was in Gambia.
The culture here is so family oriented, that being like, for example, like if I'm walking down and they're eating rice on the corner or something, which they do, it's very common here. They'll be eating rice and they'll be like, hey, come and join. You know, they're so welcoming and they make you feel like family here. And I really had to get used to that, them wanting to come and eat with them. And just like everyone would eat out of this big bowl together. Like I just wasn't used to that, and I had to get used to it. And it just goes to show how disconnected families in America can be, because like, you know, it's so normal to them to just be sharing out of the same bowl, you know. I was just so uncomfortable at first, but I'm like, it's nothing wrong with that. It's normal. Living here, like you can be living next door to a billionaire and you wouldn't even know it. Like everybody lives together in like the communities. Like in America, for example, the billionaires, they will all have their own community away from everybody else. But here, like you could be living next to a billionaire, trillionaire next door, you know. They're not like segregated. They're so fascinated at the fact that us as an African American family has come back to Africa and lived here.
You look like one of us. Do you feel at home when you came to Gambia?
Absolutely. I've been coming here for 14 years, living here permanently for 2 years. This is the happiest I've been in my life. Every morning I wake up, I see the sun, first of all, and then I see people that look like me. That's enough for me. That's enough for me.
And this time and all the things that are going on with our current president, it's significant to know where you belong and where you came from. So for me, coming back here, reuniting with my ancestors, makes me feel at home.
I met someone in Gambia. I met my husband in Gambia, who was an architect, who's absolutely amazing, and I fell in love. I ended up taking 29 members of my family out there for my wedding, and everybody who came absolutely loved it as well, which just made me fall in love with the country even more, because I know that my family members wouldn't lie to me. They would say to me, oh no, I wouldn't want to live here. Everybody is excited for me on my new journey. I want my children to live in an environment where majority of the people look like them, that everybody has the same skin color, and it's a functioning country. Your school teacher is black, the bank manager is black, the prime minister is black. Experience an environment where the powers and the people who are in high positions are all black. And in the UK, I just feel like that is not accessible to us. We might be able to watch it on TV shows and things like that, but we don't get to experience it.
Really find yourself here. Like, I've learned so much about myself that I don't think I would have learned while I was in America, because in America, I feel like, for example, on the TV, they only show you what they want to show you about Africa. And when I was living in America, I really did have this fixed idea of what Africa would be like, and so I was very closed-minded. So I would say you just learn so much more about yourself and others, and everything is just so much more free here. I remember when we first came here, like we didn't really have Wi-Fi like that, and I could say that I'm grateful for that, because you just realize how much you're addicted to your phones and being on social media and stuff like that once you don't have it. I found that like when we first got here, me and my family, we became so much more closer. Like we would just sit in the room talking to each other, because we didn't have any choice but to do that, because we didn't have our phones or electronics and stuff like that. So you just really find yourself, and you learn a lot about yourself, and you become so much more open-minded as well.
If you're coming home to Africa, you have to come home with a different mindset. The UK is the UK, Africa is Africa. And if you want to live here and be part and parcel of the fabric of Africa, you have to adapt. But in that adaptation, you have to be part of the change as well. So, you know, yes, we may not have stable electricity all the time. We may not have, you know, maybe all the things that we thought we needed in the West. But we have to think to ourselves, did we need all the materialism that the West has to offer? Have we been spoilt by the West? You know, is it really about living the life we should be living as Africans? We are different, and we should be living a different life. So it's about adapting, but it's about changing the mindset first.
I find Gambia very humbling. I feel like it is almost like a virgin land. I feel like it's untouched and the people are so humble and so kind. I mean, when I went back to Gambia, my husband's house has all of the things that you would have in the UK. But when the power cut out, I felt like I wasn't going to cope. Like, how can you cope with the power cut out? How does the washing machine work? How does the fridge work? But to see a country that functions perfectly normal when the power is cut out, or when the water supply is cut short, or when the internet has cut out, it was just very humbling for me to see people ironing clothes without using electricity, or to cook food outside. And I loved the feel of the peace and the no anxiety around having to make sure, do you have Wi-Fi? Do you have internet connection? There was no need to be connected to the rest of the world when I was in Gambia. I felt at home, and I've never felt like that in any country that I visited around the world.
Being here, taking my shoes off, getting into the water, the Atlantic Ocean, I felt at peace, I felt at home. I felt like all of my ancestors, we were reunited, and it was just a wonderful feeling.